We take you up north now, where the Municipal Chief Executive Officer of the Nanumba North, Abdullahi Yaqub, says the Assembly will push for the procurement of furniture for schools located in rural communities to give children a decent education. He stated that the Ministry of Education had already requested an update on the matter, assuring that the Assembly will follow up for the procurement to be done. But what triggered this? And just listen to this report by Joy News features editor Jojo Kovina, where an 11-year-old girl shed tears and pleaded for government to provide them with furniture.
Children slumming on the bare, dirty floor in the name of education is common in many rural communities across the country. The pupils improvise by squatting, lying on their bellies or assuming weird positions on the floor just to get an education. The Bakbaba Primary School in the Nanumba North District of the Northern Region is one of the schools with a furniture problem. About 6 classes sit on the bare floor to study. For many years, the nursery, kindergarten, all the way to primary 5 do not have furniture. The problem is bigger in the Northern Region. About 213,252 children are without furniture, and that is according to the Africa Education Watch. Children show up to school in clean uniforms but get dirty in less than 30 minutes upon arrival. Odanjo Gifty is a primary 5 pupil. To get access to a desk, she comes to school very early in the morning. The furniture situation here is based on a first-come, first-served basis, but she is not happy losing hours of sleep because of furniture. Gifty found a way to avoid lying on the floor to write, but she's not happy that her colleagues lie on their bellies to write.
Government blood of Gananga the gun can tell Debayadan school cacatang Ali lack of one young kanga, Ipum Bimena, never couldn't do the Ruchina. Bocam cacatang uniform back by uniform, but the gun can tell.
At this point, tears cloud her eyes, and shortly after, all emotions she had bottled up finally let loose.
Ali Mabakasalakana, marked by uniform, my uniform backing. Unkataka, what I do to Kokamo coats on in Ali to like me cook what I batter.
She had endured enough of the humiliation. Her teacher, Janet Tijotap, who served as my translator, couldn't believe that the children are so affected by the furniture situation. She also shed tears.
During the rainy season, whenever it rains, it links from the up there. So they have to run into a small room over there. So she coming to school to see her colleagues lying down. When she look at it, she feels sad. So and that was what made her cry. I feel bad.
These tears are because of the pain of inequalities they had suffered for years. For years, teachers have not explored how children feel about sitting, lying and squatting on the bare, dirty floor to study. Many, including teachers, assume that the children are used to slamming it hard on the floor. But times have changed. The children are demanding equality.
Sir, it's very pathetic. The educational minister should try his possible means and talk to Akufo-Addo to solve this problem. Because, like I said, she has been seeing her colleagues on TV, how they dress, how their classrooms look, but theirs is different. It's not even quarter to the others.
In 2021, data from the Ministry of Education indicates that about 956,000 KG pupils, representing half of the national KG population, and 1.28 million pupils in primary schools lack desks in schools.
Very sad excerpts of what we're seeing in this latest of Ghana's schools of shame. I want to bring in now Municipal Chief Executive for the Nanumba area. Just before we get to our conversation, first of all, listen to the authorities in the area indicate what they'll be doing to address the situation. Starting off with the Municipal Chief Executive for the Nanumba area, Abdullah Yakub.
I am very much aware of the problem. And if you look at the municipality, we have over 15,000 furniture deficit in the over 100 basic and then junior high schools in the area. Last month, Action Aid gave us 700 dual decks and then over 104 tables for KGs and then 684 chairs for the KGs. In our own small way, as the Assembly, we have provided over the years about 1,100 furniture. The Minister of Education last year gave us 400 pieces of dual decks. And currently, as we speak, the Assembly has constructed or manufactured about 200 dual decks yet to be distributed to the schools.
Very good developments there from the MCE, but let's get more from the Director for School for Life, with Dan Shaibu. Their NGO is specialized in advocacy for equality when it comes to education in the northern parts of the country, and you've been doing a lot of work in this area. How big is the furniture situation in the 5 northern regions?
Thank you very much for this. Good evening to your cherished viewers. In fact, the furniture deficit situation is a huge problem across the 5 regions in northern Ghana where we work. As you have also heard from the Municipal Chief Executive in the Nanumba North District, the municipality alone faces a furniture deficit of 15,000. If you look at the available statistics that we have, actually estimates that about 5.8 million children in Ghana's public basic schools lack simple furniture decks to learn. In the northern region alone, over 200,000 public primary schools are without furniture. If you go to Upper East region, over 100,000 learners are without furniture. If you are to even look at it in terms of proportion against the national average, whereas the national average puts the percentage of basic school learners who lacks decks at 40%, in the northern region, northeast region alone, over 80% of basic school pupils lack furniture. Northern region, it is about 70%. This is twice as much as the national average.
I see.
So that is how big the situation is in these 5 regions.
I get the point. And you've been keeping up the fight, but what's been the reaction from policymakers? Because their input will be crucial in dealing with some of these issues.
Yes, I will say it's a mixed reaction in some of the districts, especially like the work that we do. We have come to realize that it is important we mobilize citizens, local people themselves, to really identify the challenges that they are confronted with and engage the local authorities. In this case, I'm talking about the local assemblies and then the Ghana Education Services at the local level, because they are those who are easily accessible to them. So we have been mobilizing citizens, building their capacity to really understand the basic standards of services required for quality basic education to be provided. And based on this, and also giving them the right kind of information about what government commitments are and targets are, and building their capacity to actually benchmark some of their realities against the standard requirements. So based on this knowledge, they are able to engage with the relevant authorities at that level, at the local governance level. And as I indicated earlier, it's a mixed responses we've been getting. In some areas, the response is positive, albeit rather slow. Like the responses come in very slowly than the agency that the situation really requires. And in some other areas, some of the government officials are not really receptive to some of these demands and advocacy work that we are doing. But I would say that there's some successes, especially if you have, as the municipal chief executive in Nanumba North has indicated, as we have been engaging, we've been getting these assurances that they are putting in steps to really deal with some of the, we know the enormity of the situation, but we cannot just throw our arms in despair and look at it. We need to tackle them step by step, maybe gradually. If we were really tackling them, maybe the situation wouldn't have been compounded as it is now. But at least we are getting these assurances from some of them. But it's a work in progress. You know, the advocacy work will not just achieve results overnight. We also, as we mobilize the citizens, we are also engaging directly with the assemblies, with the GES at that level, to really understand the need to really be responsive to some of the demands that are being made.
With that, we need to laud the efforts you're putting in place just to ensure that these young ones have the necessary or requisite furniture to continue their education. But if there's someone still in doubt about the essence of what we've just seen demonstrated in the latest Ghana Schools of Shame about the dire furniture situation up north, what would you say to such a person, the person indicating clearly that, well, it's just a matter of furniture, we can handle this?
No, I mean, the situation is far greater than we are looking at. Maybe that person would have actually been oversimplifying the enormity of the situation because, or the gravity of it. As you can see in the video, the dire situation that children have to be confronted with has actually brought a girl, an 11-year girl, to tears because they feel it and they know this is not the situation, this is not the circumstances or the environment that we should be in, but they are compelled to. And it is not surprising then that a lot of children are not really motivated. Why should they be motivated when they know that when they go to school, they would be compelled to lie on their belly to learn? Why will even a teacher under that condition be motivated to go to school when he or she does not have simple decks to even mark the attendance register of a child?
Right.
For us, we think that furniture is one of the basic infrastructure or basic resources that need to be provided if we were to achieve quality education. I mean, if you cannot have a decent place to sit, how will you be able to feel comfortable? How convenient will it be for you to really pay attention to whatever is being taught in class? So these children are really doing great. They are doing magic. They are doing wonders, because to think that children in this situation, these circumstances, will be subjected to the same kind of standards that children in well-to-do areas, urban areas, are. I mean, we are doing a great disservice and injustice to children who are found in this part of the country through no fault of theirs. Nobody asks, to be born into those circumstances. But it doesn't also mean that when you are born into a household that is poor, into a geographical area that is underserved, then you are doomed for life. that is, I mean, the essence of governance is to provide resources equitable to ensure that regardless of your situation, you are able to access the basic services required to access basic education. And basic education, as we all know, is by right. Is by right. Our constitution guarantees that every child, every Ghanaian child, should have access to basic education. And we have even gone further to develop a policy that makes basic education compulsory. But yet, we are not putting in place the needed resources and facilities that will enable children to really feel comfortable when accessing what is supposed to be their basic fundamental human right. So I think that as a country, we really need to step up. We need to really wake up and realize that, yes, we know services and issues, the situation, the services and the issues are competing for resources. But we have also agreed that education is one of the basic products that we have to, provide to children. And it is important that we really live up to the very tenets of our laws, of our policies, rather than paying lip services to these things. Resources will always be limited, but for me and for us as an organization, we think that it is important for us to prioritize, because it's all about priority. If we really recognize that basic education, and basic education in the rural areas for that matter, is equally important, we'll really be paying, prioritizing and paying attention to those schools.
Okay. With that, grateful. I see how passionate you are. Times ahead will be better indeed. That's all we all hope for. Thanks for joining us. And now the